You have watched many productivity YouTube videos, your TikTok feed has motivational content, and you've read numerous self-help books. Yet, these efforts lack value without freeing yourself. Your actions are ineffective. They lack purpose. While you may advance slightly, you regress unless you release the 3 things I'll unveil in this video. Say farewell to the dream of $1 million in your bank. Life involves both attacking and defending. Consider Floyd Mayweather, excelling in earnings through defensive mastery. Think of Warren Buffett, prioritizing avoid losses in investing. The point, surrendering these 3 aspects fortifies your defense, enhancing your strength. This means fewer elaborate actions are required. You need to reduce your intelligence, talent, and effort. By relinquishing these 3 aspects, you gain a significant edge. A small note, after reaching a certain success level, you might embrace these points, except for the 3rd one, which I'll unveil shortly. To achieve wealth, start by quitting alcohol. Before you disregard this as obvious, remember that much of success is clear, yet ignored. More often than not, it's not about novel concepts, but about a trusted individual explaining familiar ideas logically. You need to realize that alcohol is harmful. It clouds your thinking, disrupts sleep, and triggers poor, irrational choices. If you drink while others abstain, they hold a competitive edge and can outperform you in the market. So folks, until you achieve $1 million in your bank, if that is your goal, some aim for simpler lives with contentment, and that's wonderful too. I'm addressing those aspiring to be millionaires, multimillionaires, or make a positive impact. If you're a male under 30, prioritize a robust body and finances over drinking. Abstain until you reach that $1 million milestone. Recognize that your actions in your 20s shape your physique, strength, agility, speed, and financial situation for life. Establishing a sturdy base in these areas by the end of your 20s offers lasting advantages and habits to guide your future, minimizing the risk of mistakes ahead. Honestly, nailing this in your 20s makes life a breeze later on. So, until you hit that $1 million, cut out drinking. It's counterproductive, especially in your 20s. Prioritize a strong body and financial stability. Alcohol drains both your wallet and cognitive abilities after all. I'm not advising against personal choice, just highlighting a pattern I've noticed. While drinks can facilitate deals, relationships, and friendships, I'm suggesting that for your first $1 million, success leans more on a solid business model and commitment than on connections. It's not about lifelong abstinence after all, but focusing on the right approach initially. The next aspect to let go of for wealth is romantic involvement. I'm addressing my primarily male audience directly. Given my upbringing, taking women out means covering costs non-negotiable. However, don't fear women as well. Engage with them naturally and respectfully. Feel free to interact, compliment, and approach those you find appealing. However, for serious dating, hold off. It aligns with avoiding drinking, as dates often involve alcohol. Focus on building your path for now. Know this: for men, prime years are 28 to 38. It's when women find you most appealing. Interestingly, I know people who wouldn't consider a guy under 30. You could change a guy's age from 32 to 24, and suddenly, you wouldn't find him attractive anymore. In general, women often seek older men for stability, guidance, wisdom, and direction. As a man, knowing this, why not invest your younger years in self-improvement? Shape yourself into the man you aspire to be before stepping into the dating world. Let me be frank with you. If you imagine your ultimate dream girl who is not someone you'd compromise for, she might be out of reach currently. So, why bother dating or settling for less? Instead, focus on self-improvement for a few years in all aspects of life. After 3, 5, or 8 years, you can present your best self to the world and attract your dream woman. Beyond being a high-value man, you are a high-value individual. Complaining about gender inequalities won't change the fact that sculpting yourself into the right person takes time. While women can often rely on qualities like beauty and femininity, remember that your journey to self-improvement is what makes you attractive in the long run. Complaining won't change life's realities. If you're not where you want to be, focus on self-improvement. Don't settle for less in a partner. Instead, invest time in personal growth. Then emerge in 5 years to attract your ideal partner. The final aspect you should be willing to relinquish in your pursuit of wealth is the act of keeping up appearances. Irrespective of the role you assume in life, unlike indulging in alcohol or pursuing relationships, I believe that once you attain a particular status, it becomes reasonable to reintegrate those elements into your life if they align with your desires. It's worth noting that individual inclinations vary. People seek diverse things from life. Nevertheless, engaging in the practice of upholding appearances is a behavior that should always remain avoided and never engaged in. Many individuals find themselves in a state of stagnation due to the fact that they are currently financing a vehicle beyond their means. They are acquiring items like Gucci and Balenciaga despite their financial limitations. Engaging in trips to Dubai is also common, even when their budget doesn't allow for it. Displaying a lavish lifestyle on social media, despite facing financial difficulties, is prevalent. It's essential to recognize that this way of life is rather disheartening, as each night you will confront your reflection and come to terms with the fact that you do not truly embody that persona. Moreover, I want to point out that I am aware of individuals who earn an annual income of $20 million but manage to expend $30 million within that same time frame. I understand that this might appear illogical or even absurd to you. However, there exist individuals who primarily derive their sense of value from the funds they disperse and the extravagant lifestyle they exhibit. That's the entirety of it. At the moment, my approach is firmly grounded in practicality. I allocate 70% of my earnings towards savings and investments. I recognize that many individuals observe my way of living and find it astonishing that there are instances where I expend over $500,000 monthly. However, from my perspective, it's all about proportions. Back when I lacked financial resources and found myself in dire straits, I was acutely mindful and fully conscious of the fact that the moment money starts coming in is when the greatest peril emerges. It's during this time that tracking one's finances tends to falter. It's the phase where expenditures become unchecked, potentially leading to the rapid collapse of the very empire one has worked to construct. Realizing the need to keep appearances, regardless of your achieved status, is an essential step in achieving and sustaining wealth. It's worth noting that this compulsion will naturally diminish over time. Interestingly, there isn't a definitive guide on how to navigate newfound wealth. There isn't a playbook that instructs you on prudent spending choices and what warrants investment. Regrettably, there is a scarcity of substantial guidance available in this realm. As you begin to earn income, you might find it necessary to gradually release this urge. Initially, you might feel inclined to showcase and display your money, indulging in extravagant gestures. Eventually, you'll reach a stage of complete ease with your affluence. Personally, being at ease with your prosperity doesn't necessitate adopting a facade of humility solely to impress others. Should you desire to travel privately or allocate funds for various expenditures, feel free to do so. The funds are yours, provided your choices remain sensible and you continue to allocate a substantial portion towards savings and investments. Achieving a sense of ease with your prosperity involves two scenarios. One where your choices are opulent and might arouse jealousy from others, and the other where your preferences are more modest, might receive less attention, yet align with your personal liking. Consider two cars, and mind you, you can easily afford both. One car is a showstopper, perfect for flaunting on social media, while the other is a quality vehicle but doesn't attract as much attention. Now, let's say you genuinely prefer the latter, even though you could comfortably opt for the former. Let's say it's a choice between a Tesla and a Rolls-Royce. Being at ease with your affluence, in my view, means choosing the Tesla simply because you genuinely like it. Therefore, your decision would be to acquire the Tesla. I emphasize these points to highlight that you will undergo a process, ultimately reaching a stage where you comfortably embrace your financial state. There won't be a compulsion to maintain appearances or continuously enhance your lifestyle to impress others. Instead, you will make choices based on your preferences and genuine enjoyment. By the way, it's worth noting that numerous individuals possess substantial wealth. However, they find themselves entangled in the obligation to maintain appearances, even becoming subservient to their finances. They are ensnared in upholding a facade that they present to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, these are 3 essential aspects you should relinquish if your goal is to attain wealth, and I must emphasize, if you aim to sustain that affluence over time. It's crucial to acknowledge that the journey towards financial prosperity and its persistence isn't confined to merely 1 or 2 years. Rather, it's a decade-long and even more expedition. It's vital to bear in mind that both achieving and upholding affluence necessitates commitment, self-control, and willingness to make concessions. Nevertheless, with the appropriate perspective and strategy, accomplishing this goal is certainly within reach. What do you think? Which of these aspects are you planning on removing first? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our latest uploads.